You're good.
Right on. Welcome to MAGFest. I guess this is MAGFest 19. Sorry I couldn't be there in person, but here I am. I'm Joe. I created MAGFest. Who's up there right now? I guess Tom, wave Tom so they know who I'm talking about.
Hey, yeah, I can introduce myself. I'm Tom Deem. Let's see, I am not officially a lumberjack for the record. I have missed 2 MAGFests, so I guess I'm called a woodsman. But I have been going for the most part since MAG 1. I'm actually, my claim to fame, and I guess I'll put that in my tombstone, is I'm officially the very first attendee of MAGFest ever.
Oh.
So there's something to put on your tombstone, I guess. But officially these days I've been staffing. Yeah, I've been staffing for the past 8 years in the panels department. The last 2 I've been functioning as the director of the panels department. So if there's anything you guys hate with panels, it's probably my fault. So, you want to introduce?
Yeah, my name's Steve. I've been to every MAGFest, every Mag Stock, Labs 8.5, and Classic. As far as I know, I'm the youngest person to have done that by a fair bit, because I was 13 at Mag 1. And yeah, I love MAGFest is awesome and just never stop coming. And you know, I staffed once or twice, you know, but there you have it. So I've got well over half of my life I've been coming to MAGFest.
Sweet. All right. Well, Joe, take it away.
All right. Is it just 2 of you guys up there right now?
It is.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. All right. Well, so am I hearing my own echo, or was somebody talking to me?
Nope, you're good.
All right. The purpose of this panel is, 1, to talk a little bit about how MAGFest got started, and 2, I'm working on a book about the history of MAGFest, which should hopefully be out this time next year at the merch table at MAGFest 20. And I'm going to talk a little bit about that. And then we're just going to open it up to Q&A. And I'm lucky to have Tom, who was the first person we ever gave a badge to, and 1, soon to be 3 lumberjacks on stage with me, and 2 or 3 more in the audience. So, all right, can we just go to the first panel, the first PowerPoint page?
Yep, I'm already got it.
All right, cool. Okay, so we have the idea, and I'm going to try and keep this to about 10 or 12 minutes because it gets boring if not. MAGFest 1, we had the idea for it at TaxuCon in February of 2001. We were kind of drunk, partying in a hotel room, and there was another guy, Sean Ryder. Some of you know him. Sean and I had run a Japanese animation club in Roanoke at a local movie theater for about a year at that point. And we had about 30 or 40 guys who would show up every week, and we would take a dozen of them. We'd go to all these anime conventions, and we'd get hotel rooms, and we'd staff, we'd run their video rooms, their game rooms, and we got pretty good at it. And we decided to do our own convention in Roanoke. And at first, let me see if we go to yeah, go to the next panel. Panel 2. Or page 2.
Oh. Got it?
Slide 2.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so yeah, originally it wasn't a video game convention. It was a Japanese anime convention right in Roanoke, Virginia called OmakeCon. Again, we would do video. Anybody know Star City Games here in Roanoke? They're real popular if you play Magic the Gathering.
Yep.
Yeah, so they let us do video game tournaments in their game room on off days, and we had the anime club. And the idea was that we wanted to do an anime convention with more of a focus on video games, because Japanese video games were always very neglected at the anime cons. And the picture here, you can see an original flyer for our anime club and an original flyer for one of the very first maybe the very first video game tournament we ever did. It's kind of where MAGFest was born. After several months of planning, we decided that, well, I had the idea, actually, instead of an anime convention with a big video game room, why not just do a video game convention? Because it hadn't really been done yet. You had the E3 Expo, and you had Philly Classic, the Vegas Classic, swap meets, and you had Jaguar Con, which later became the Midwest Classic. But there really wasn't much. And in America, there was no such thing as a video game music concert. I mean, they had those maybe in Europe, Japan, but we didn't have it back then. And I ran the idea by the rest of the staff, anime guys, and they hated it, and most of them left. And Sean and I decided to just do it anyway. Go to slide number 3.
Yep, you're good.
Okay, and if you look there at the color picture on the right, look at the website. It says Mid-Atlantic Game Festival, but the website was still Omakakop, right? And by the way, if y'all didn't know, originally the Music and Gaming Festival was called the Mid-Atlantic Game Festival. That was, you know. Are you guys getting the reverb feedback I'm getting in my room?
Not much here, no.
Okay. As long as it's fine there. Okay. Anyways, so you can see there 2 of the very first flyers that we ever took to like Otakon and stuff for MAGFest. These flyers are 2001, 2002. Anime con rooms were always underrepresented. We wanted a bigger one. I guess let's go right along to slide number 4.
Okay.
Yay! Okay. Again, I had the idea to make it a video game event instead, sometime in September of 2000. Originally, the show was slated for April of 2002. When we made all of those changes and got all that blowback resistance, we had to change the dates. But the hotel was very accommodating. And there is Matt Rice here yet?
I'm here. Yep.
Okay. There's a picture on the right of me and Matt and Purnell at E3 Expo. And to the left of it, the left would be 2002. Those 2 girls at E3 Expo are holding up the very first MAGFest shirt we ever made, and might be the one I'm wearing. I don't know. But there we are promoting MAGFest at E3 Expo. Okay, slide number 5.
Yep.
Whoops. Sorry. I'm sorry. Technology. Even in the future, nothing works. So we had a hotel contract, we had a business license, but we didn't have any guests. We invited Victor Ireland of Working Designs. He couldn't make it, but sent us a lot of nice giveaways. We invited Alexander Pajitnov, did get a reply. Voice actor Michael Bell wanted $5,000. That's half our budget. Sean had the idea to invite the mini bosses. He said yes. Price of a plane ticket in a hotel room. And they put MAGFest on their website, and suddenly all these music guests wanted to show up. And we didn't really intend for MAGFest to be like 50% music. It just happened by accident, by necessity. My original idea for MAGFest was something close to the E3 Expo, open to the public on the East Coast. But MAGFest became what it was. And you know, once we were on the Mini Boss's website, the Peanuts wanted to come, and Sean Stone wanted to come, and Jake Kaufman, who did the music for Shantae, and a lot of other stuff. It was totally by accident, but at least we had a convention at that point. Suddenly we started the registration. You know, people were pre-registering. Okay. Let me check your again. Okay, yeah. Slide number 6.
Got it.
So, the Mid-Atlantic Game Festival, the original festival, happened September 27th to 29th, 2002. The holiday in Tanglewood in Roanoke, Virginia. We had 270 people or so. The picture on the right is the very first the mock demo for the program book, and the picture on the left is me holding the program book. And So that Turbo Graphics down there, I want to tell this story. This is about a minute. One of our sponsors from MAGFest was the guy who owned all of the leftover stock from the Turbo Graphics company when they went out of business in America. He had a company called Zone Direct. For years he'd sell this stuff mail order. You could buy a Turbo Duo from that guy and played it brand new. It played as 2003. He sent us the very first Turbo Graphics that ever went off the assembly line in America. There it is, me holding it in a plastic case with whatever, you know, and everything. And we were supposed to display it, but we were afraid it would get stolen, so we kept it locked up the whole weekend. But that was the MAGFest one. There's the picture. Anyways, real quick, let me check. Come on, real quick. We've been planning MAGFest for a year. It was a lot of work. We ended up losing money. Attendance wasn't what we wanted. And I was expected to do my master's degree at USC in Hollywood, screenwriting. So I was going to be, you know, like a big hotshot movie guy. So we decided not to. I was moving to California, so we decided not to do another show. Brendan came along and offered to continue it, and rest is history. That's the short version of how MAGFest got started. Hold off on questions. Go to number 7.
Yep.
Slide number 7.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. So here's a preview of the book. The rest is history. The link will be in the book. A year from now, you can see the. By the way, the person doing the program book with me, the history book with me, is our friend Raph, who did the badges, the program books, and all the posters and flyers for MAGFest 1 and 2. So we've actually got a veteran working on the book as well. He's a graphic designer. The book will feature pictures and fun facts about every year of every hotel the show was at, every year of the event, as well as Mag Stock, Game Over, and MAGFest. Number 8.
Yep.
You can see a sample of Chapter 1, MAGFest at the holiday. Those pictures from MAGFest 1. Oh gosh, scroll down to number 8. We can go back through these again if people want to look at them more, but scroll down to number 9.
Okay.
Okay, so the program book will have a reversible dust jacket, a gatefold center, and some stickers featuring badges from early years. We're also trying to include a DVD in the book with video footage of some of the early years of MAG, because I've actually got some videos of MAGs. That looks like 1, 2, 3. I might have a video from 5. That's MAG 5. That's the year that guy who was my brother knows, some young fella who set a Donkey Kong record at some point, and he was there as a young just playing games. I think we've got a video of him there. Anyways. Okay, last slide, number 10.
Got it.
We're also going to have a bio section in the back that's going to feature profiles of longtime staff, influential staff from over the years, and some of the longtime attendees like the Lumberjacks and the Woodmen, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So you can see Steve and Sean and Matt, if you're all there now, put you in the book there. And there's Sean Ryder. And I should, let me say, MAGFest 1 would not have happened without Sean Ryder. I mean, he really deserves just as much credit as I do. He refuses to take any, I mean, you know, he's married now, he's got a kid, they go to church, they have jobs, stuff like that. He just, you know, he has his life. But no, Sean Ryder really was just as much creator of MAGFest. It was my idea, but he did a lot of the work that I just couldn't do. So, anyways, if anybody has pictures from MAGFest 4 or 5, I definitely need pictures from MAG 4 and MAG 5 specifically. Anyways, go to the last page, the last panel.
Yep.
Thank you for surviving my crappy PowerPoint. Okay. Anyways, that's pretty much what I wanted to say about the history of MAGFest and the book. And we have like 30, 40 minutes left. So hopefully you'll have some questions to me or to Matt or Steve or Tom or John there.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Do we have the mag point?
Funny.
Yeah.
Yep.
Tom, do you have any mag points?
Is that me in the back there?
Yeah.
Yep.
How much of the show today has like remnants of that first show? I mean, is there any staff that's still staff? Are there machines that are from the first show? Is anything still going all the way to the beginning?
So he's asking what the remnants are from the first show, if there's anything sort of left that's still kind of in place from the very first show.
You mean like at the hotel or like
Well,
my
like-
souvenirs?
Well, like arcade cabinets, equipment,
Staff.
staff.
Yeah.
Staff,
Got me.
I staffed for a while, but not anymore.
I signed up.
Purnell still shows up and runs stuff. Oh, sorry, someone's talking to me.
Should we do?
ahead.
We did we introduced ourselves, but y'all showed up a little late. You could do an introduction too after Joe's done here.
Okay.
Yeah, introduce yourselves.
Okay.
Yeah, if you want to.
I'll go ahead.
Yeah.
I'm Matt Reese, or Zerum online forums. Sorry I'm late. I was. I would say it was because of the traffic accident on the bridge, but really it was because I had Taco Bell for lunch.
Yeah, I'm Mike Sackett. I was just upstairs shoving peanuts in my face. Not as legitimate of an excuse as others, but yeah, I've been here since the first one, and I just never found a reason to stop.
Yeah, we went to high school together, and yeah, my folks. I begged my parents to take me and my friends. Yeah, like 3 years older than me, but like the gamer friends in high school, or whatever. That drove us all down in the minivan. So bless them.
We
For that
do.
one.
We do also have a few staff that were at Mag 1. I was actually at Mag 1. I mentioned earlier that I'm the director of panels right now. Mike Kemp, who is the division head of programming, was also a staffer and a lumberjack. He is the division head for all of programming, so panels, guests, all that kind of stuff. And I believe we've got a couple others that are still on staff. And unfortunately, the names escape me at the moment. But
Purnell,
yep. So.
but he's not here today. So.
Yep. So.
As far as if you want to see real quick, here's a program book from MAGFest 1.
There you go.
Oh, nice.
And here's the original. This is the prototype for the MAGFest 1 program book. And I've got some posters, but I have to dig them out. I don't have them right now. But
Does no one have a first badge? I've been trying to figure out what that looks like.
He's got one here.
Yeah, so maybe that is it.
Yeah, that's it. Because I have one at home.
Yeah.
Yours.
Mine's yellow.
It was
Is that a thing, or is that year 2?
That's your
No,
one.
that's year 1.
Oh, for some.
I've got your 2. Hang on, I've got your 2. I've got it in here. The MAGFest 1 badge came in 4 different colors for staff, attendee, dealer, and guest.
Yeah.
And where the hell is my MAGFest 2 badge? Here's MAGFest 2 program book.
Him too. Yep. Okay.
I usually give these away to Big Adam to auction at the charity thing because it's got my name on it, but I'll find it. I promise I'll find it and show you the MAGFest 2 badge before we're done here.
I think that's the one then.
Wow.
Yeah.
I guess it was limited. Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
we weren't sure. Yeah.
Oh yeah. There you go.
Is that a 1 or a 2 badge?
I think that's
Yeah,
a 2. But
Oh, you got one. Okay.
Well, I wish I could show you because I don't really know.
run around.
We'll just
Oh, is the
stick it in front of the
camera's
camera.
right there,
yeah. There we go.
Was that.
So. What? Yep.
Oh, okay.
I think it's a
Technology.
1, but I mean, because there's the Halloween
Here's-
theme for year 2, so I'm pretty sure that's a different one.
That's not. I don't. It's weird. I don't think that's year 2.
Oh, okay.
No, I don't think it's year 2.
I think it's a year 1 because
No, let me see. I can't. It's weird in the camera. Yeah, that's not a year 1 or a year 2.
Okay.
oh, okay.
Wait. Oh, that might be a year 1 actually. Yeah, that might be a year one. I think that's a year one.
That looks like M1.
Yeah, that's a year one badge.
Okay. Nice. See, there you go.
Ah, here it is.
As far as
Here's MAGFest. That's MAGFest 2 badge.
That's right. Yep. Okay.
Oh, okay. I got them mixed up. Okay. Yeah.
As far as your other part of the question about like equipment and such, I don't think there's any carryovers from the first days. I mean, unless like software library maybe.
The museum does have a few of the memorabilia in their section. They also do have a timeline just right around the corner here that kind of shows the different years of MAGFest. That's pretty nice. I said they've got, I think, a small case that has a little bit of the memorabilia from the various years. They've got a bunch of the badges going all the way up to this year. That's probably about it at this point. So for memorabilia.
Oh, here's one. Can you guys see that Art the Lad poster back there?
Yep.
Okay, let's go.
Okay, that was Vic Ireland at Working Design sent us 4 of those to give away at MAGFest 1.
Nice.
I kept one.
Okay, so as far as questions, let's go to you first and then you second.
Yep.
So what was the first thing that happened? Like, what was the first tournament, the first panel, or the first, like, when it all started and the doors opened, do you know what happened first?
What was the first thing that happened? The first tournament, the first panel, the first thing that really happened as soon as you walked in the door?
That's you, Tom. We got there Thursday.
You had opening ceremonies, so there would have been that, but I don't know if there was anything before that.
Yeah, we did opening ceremonies, but after that there was something.
Oh, you mean Friday? See, MAGFest was only 3 days back then, so you're talking about Friday then.
This is also
that's
20 years ago.
Yeah, you got the book, right?
Tells us what happened, right?
Yep.
Yeah, the first
Is it in the program book, is the question.
You got the program book, right?
I guess so, yeah. Hang on.
Work smarter, not
Here
harder.
it is. Friday. We had something going on in the video room. Oh, a friend of it. So back then, like little 2-minute videos where it was like 8 characters dancing around in a video, and these were new on the internet because it was 20 years ago. So a friend of mine put together a VHS tape with like an hour of these, because we had a nonstop video running in the background. We ran like the Mario movie and the Wizard and some videos that our friend had made.
Yeah. We used to have a movie room actually for MAGFest that was run by a guy for a number of years, and he stepped down a few years ago. That because we used to do that, we used to do like movies like almost 24 hours where we'd show just video game movies, just a room you can go in and chill and watch video game movies.
I think we need to bring that back.
Yeah, I
Opening
also agree.
ceremonies at
And best place to take a nap if you don't have a room,
Also, that best place to take a nap.
That's yeah, no. With okay, so opening ceremonies at 3:30. At 5:30, the Robert Aldrich panel.
Figured you'd show up sooner or later.
Yeah. Anyways, yeah, we had the premiere of there's a Japanese animation called Ys, based on the video game franchise. Anime Works actually gave us the U.S. localized premiere of that for MAGFest 1. A lot of people don't know that, but we premiered the Ys anime in America at MAGFest 1.
There you go.
Yep.
Man, I'd forgotten that.
Yeah. And that was on Friday, right after opening ceremony.
Yeah, I mean, I remember some of the other things that happened at MAGFest 1, but not necessarily the order. I want to say Mustin DJ'd a dance on Friday night, and the concerts were on Saturday. It was just the one night with 3 bands.
I definitely remember the bands. That was, because I was like, what are these guys doing here? And I'm like, oh, these guys are pretty good. I'm going to go check this out and hang out for an hour. So, what's the next question?
Over there.
There?
So, and this is probably, of all the MAGFests throughout the years that you have overseen and participated in, which this year was your personal favorite and why?
Oh.
So personal favorite year of MAGFest.
Damn.
Oh, me first or me last?
Sure, why don't you go first?
Well, it's an easy question for me. MAGFest 1, because it was mine.
Fair enough.
It might actually be Mag 1 for me too, just because like the magic of the first one, you know? Like I've always thought that like the spirit of MAGFest, and perhaps in some way, is in like someone's first MAGFest. So, yeah. And so to me, like I went back to school and just wore my badge all week, just walking around the classes. You know, I just didn't want to take it off. It's just somehow bring a little bit of the magic back. So maybe one, but you know, they all blend together. Like it's hard. I don't remember what happened which, but.
For me, the standout was probably, I think it was MAGFest 4. It was in Charlottesville, which is where I'm from, so you can't beat that.
On that note, I'm from Alexandria, so all these ones, both at the Mark Center and here, are great for me. I would say probably, MAGFest 8, which was the second to last year. It was at the Mark Center because 9 was when they had to like limit the attendance just because they had so many people. It was hitting the fire code. And I'd say maybe the second year that it was here at the Gaylord. You know, the first one, it definitely blew up size-wise and everything, but it had that year to kind of like find its footing in a new space. And then the second year, I feel like helped a bit. But I've been to all of them, so they do blur together a little bit.
Yeah, I'll say, I mean, for me, I'm biased. I will still say Mag 1, but it's one of those things, like we started out with a few hundred people, like the first few events, and then right around was about 8, 9, and 10, it really jumped in attendance. We went from like 1,000 to 10,000, I think, like in 3 years. It jumped significantly once we came to the Mark Center, and then our high water mark was 2 years ago at about 25,000. We actually capped it at that. So, but a little aside for Mag 1, like my experience with it, I found about it at Otakon, also found it from the Neo Geo forums. I went down a day early because I'm like, well, I got leave to burn. I might as well just go down and see what the heck this thing is about and just take a flyer on it. I drove down there. I was just walking around the hotel and saw they were in a planning meeting, and they're like, wait, what are you here for? And I'm like, oh, I'm here for MAGFest. And they're like, it doesn't start till tomorrow. I'm like, yeah, I know, it's cool. I'm just gonna hang out and just, you know, play games or something like that. So, and it also happened, I started talking with Joe. I also had brought some of my stuff with me because I also had a Neo Geo, and I'm like, well, do you guys want a Neo Geo for the floor? And they're like, sure. So we're playing King of Fighters there on the floor, so that was my Neo Geo that we had on the floor there that year. So still one of my favorite systems, though. I love the Neo Geo so much, and I could probably talk for the next 4 hours on Neo Geo. That's for a whole separate topic. So
Windjammers after?
Sure, I'm good for it. So Windjammers, baby. Windjammers all day long. So,
let me tell my version of Thursday night before MAGFest.
Okay, what's your version?
So we got me and Sean, and I forget who else was there. Maybe, anyways. We got there Thursday night in the U-Haul, and we had a bunch of arcade cabinets in the U-Haul, most of which didn't work, which we didn't know yet. And so we go and unlock the bar. You understand, all of MAGFest 1, all of the square footage can fit into the room y'all are sitting in right now. That was it. That's how big, you know. So we unlock the doors, we go back outside to the U-Haul, and wheel the first arcade cabinet in. And there's already a guy sitting inside with his own TV and his own Neo Geo. Like, what are you doing? Oh, yeah. I'm here for the video games. And that was Tom, so he gave him his badge.
That's awesome.
It's probably like, oh, if he's enough of a sucker to come a day early, I guess we'll give him a badge. Fine, whatever, you know. Any other questions?
That was before we had badge numbers.
We'll go over there.
How much was the first badge?
How much was the first badge?
$30. Oh, how much was
the first badge?
How much did badges cost the first year?
Yeah.
Yeah, $30.
Okay. To be fair, there is slightly more content this year than there was about 20 years ago. So, also inflation and, you know, stock markets, whatever, numbers, reasons.
Okay.
Non-profit.
Yep.
Yep.
Since Joe's at home and we're looking at him in his video game room here, could you give us a tour? Show us what he's got.
Oh boy. You want to give us a tour of your room?
I can do it in like a minute and a half or 2 minutes. Are there any objections?
No, go for it, dude.
Go for it.
I gotta detach this, so let me make sure I don't disconnect.
It's okay. We'll do it live.
Okay, wait, now that's me.
Yep, that's you. Still you.
Okay.
There we go.
Here we go. Here we go. Okay.
Got the ring light.
So, all right, that's all the Transformers stuff because I'm a big old nerd.
You're in good company.
Hey, Vince DiCola was at MAGFest a few years ago and autographed a bunch of stuff for me. That was awesome. And then here's the, Berserk, Lotus, Dragonlance Token, and there's that.
Monty Python, yeah.
And, yeah. Anyways, here's the PlayStation shelf. That's all PS1 and PS2. And there's some posters and the Lunar posters. And this is Sega TurboGrafx PC and a couple of like 3DO Neo Geo Pocket, like one or two of those, but and Diablo and Ys and that's the Nintendo shelf there. Everybody flips out over the Earthbound, right? Using a guy's shirt and that's pretty much everything.
Yep.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
It's funny, Joe is really big into RPGs. To say that is a bit of an understatement. I'm really big into everything but RPGs. So somehow we're friends.
You complete my collection.
Okay, shall we go to over there?
Next question.
What's the most expensive thing you got in that collection?
Joe, what's your most expensive thing in your collection?
I have Snatcher autographed by Hideo Kojima. Hang on, I'll show you that.
Was that from 2012 in DC?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Am I back on the camera or did you lose me? Did you lose me? Can you still see me?
No, we lost your video.
Wait.
Wait for it. There we go.
You're just not moving. It's kind of weird.
It's real. I've been to his place and have played it. So.
Yeah. There's Snatcher.
Yep, Snatcher.
I paid $100 for this, kicking and screaming about 20 years ago.
Small difference in price nowadays.
Yep. I got a lot of really rare TurboGrafx stuff and a lot of working design stuff that people want, and that's pretty much it.
Yep. Next question. Yep.
Cosplay has become such a creative part. Was that envisioned originally, or did that evolve on its own?
Was cosplay part of MAGFest initially?
And I can.
Yes, there was. I got a picture. There was. I mean, not many people did, but
I was one of the three.
That's the final thing.
Who did you dress up as, Dan?
Okay.
Oh, there we go. It's a little tough to see. But...
Yeah.
So if you can't see very well on the screen, she's dressed as Lulu from Final Fantasy X. I was dressed as a New Age retro hippie from Earthbound. And then there was a girl that I saw sleeping in the lobby that looked like she was wearing the Serial Experiment Lane pajamas, like the bear suit. And I couldn't tell if that was intentional or not.
I think it was. I'm pretty sure it was because I was just watching that series at the time.
So I think that was about everybody that cosplayed at the first one.
Yeah, I think cosplay didn't really take hold until we had it the weekend of Halloween, which was MAGFest 3.
Oh, Mag 3 was Halloween, yeah.
2 was Halloween.
Yeah,
3 was in the same vicinity the next year.
So, yep.
Oh, really? It was 2? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Any questions? Yep.
Two things. The first thing is, I just wanted to know, fantastic taste in RPGs, very good, amazing taste. Totally agree on the same wavelength there. And the second question, the actual question is, when are we getting on the cruise? When's Mag Cruise?
So I was saying, first you got great taste in RPGs. Second of all, when are we doing the Mag Cruise? We got to get a cruise, right? You know, isn't that what everybody does?
Oh, that's, I did one of those once with my running club, like my jogging club, like 8 or 9 years ago in Europe, and it was amazing. You could rent out a boat and just like sail for 3 days.
There you go, Mag.
Yeah, that was awesome.
But now we got to do a Mag Cruise, though, you know, because it's like a 20th anniversary. That's what everybody does, right? You know, we have 80s cruises, you know, things like that.
That's going to be expensive per person, but we could do that, right?
The boats are probably way cheap right now. Come on.
Yeah.
Hey, do you know how much people are paying for swag this year? I mean, I'm just saying.
Like, in my head, I'm envisioning, like, a much smaller boat, one that actually rocks, and trying to play ice-cold beer on that. Okay, I think you had a question, and then we'll go over there. Oh, well, we'll go with you then.
So, first of all, great RPG collection.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And second of all, quick question. Did Griffith do anything wrong?
Did which?
From Berserk?
Did what? Sorry, say that one more time.
Did Griffith do anything wrong?
Did Griffith do anything wrong in Berserk?
Oh, plenty, please. Plenty. No, I know. Griffiths did nothing wrong. I know. Yeah.
All the memes.
Okay.
Yep.
Just another one. So Joe's got in this room, he's got this collection, he's got all these video games, he's got all this MAGFest memorabilia. Joe, you ever think about doing anything on YouTube or on social media, doing videos for us to see what you got to offer over there?
Have you thought about doing any YouTube videos or showing off some of the memorabilia?
I thought about it, but I suck at the video editing. I've tried with DaVinci Resolve, and I just, you know, because you're talking and you want to put in like a clip of the thing you're talking about, whether it's a game or whatever. I've thought about it plenty of times. A lot of people have suggested, but I'm just terrible at video editing. Volunteers?
Yeah. See what you did there.
Okay.
You in the front here in the white shirt.
I think Zieran would know. I think I saw the MAGFest 2.0 documentaries or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
There's a guy, I believe in the second one, who says, I don't see this being a big thing. I'm still not convinced. What do you think about this being a big thing? Yeah. You think it's a big thing?
Oh, I remember that documentary. Yeah.
It's a documentary about MAGFest?
That the X-Strike folks made.
The documentary the X-Strike folks made.
Like Justin Wong was in it, I think. They like.
Yeah, I don't.
I'm not sure it's on YouTube anymore, but I wish I could identify.
I wonder why.
I mean, I could go home and like check the DVD and like let you know what name that tune if you're there, but. Yeah, I think it became a big thing. Well,
I'm not convinced.
What was the question?
Oh, we're just talking about the video, the documentary that X-Strike Videos did for us.
so someone wasn't sure that MAGFest would become a big thing back at MAGFest 2. And do we?
Yeah, they tried to interview me.
Yeah. So. Okay. Any other questions?
Someone had.
Yeah, I think she had one, but she's heading out. So.
Okay.
There we
go.
go. Sorry.
I'm worried I'm about to lose some nerd cred, but what's the origin of Lumberjacks?
What's the origin of Lumberjacks? Who wants to tell this one?
There was a
Yeah, we hear you in the audience.
Yeah, let the Lumberjacks tell this.
All right. So I'll go ahead. So
Yeah.
I didn't even know this was a thing until like Joe and some of them told me afterwards. But like when some of the folks that showed up at the first MAGFest arrived at the Holiday Inn, the sign said, "Welcome Woodsmen of the World," as opposed to anything about MAGFest, which I'm not clear if that was like the thing that was there the day before and they hadn't changed the sign yet or what, but it just kind of became an in-joke, and that is essentially why they call themselves Lumberjacks, for those of us who have been at all the MAGFests, or now Super MAGFests.
And it was woodmen specifically, which I think is more like they were really amused by, because the woodman is a Mega Man boss.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
And so I think I've seen a picture of someone standing out in front of the sign.
Yeah.
Like.
Yeah, I know there's the picture of the guy. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, and supposedly woodman, which I didn't even realize was a thing, was like if you're not a lumberjack but you've been to almost all the mags. So I guess technically I'm a woodsman because I missed 2 of them. So
there's no real conventions for these.
So the Woodmen of the World are.
Oh, go ahead, Joe.
Oh, sure. So the Woodmen of the World are an insurance agency based out of Kansas that have been around for like 100 years. And they have an office in Roanoke, and they were having a meeting the same weekend as MAGFest, and they were up on like the 4th floor, like hotel room suite. So we didn't even see them. It was like 10 guys. But they got the sign out front of the hotel and not MAGFest. So when people showed up, it said, "Welcome, Woodmen of the World." And in the years after that, like they forgot it was Woodmen and thought it said Lumberjacks. I just found out there was an insurance group earlier a few months ago, honestly. But that's how that happened.
All right.
All right.
Any other
Is there
questions?
one back there? Yep.
Yep, all the way in the
All
back.
the way back.
Do we know the first person who ever did the Colossus yell at a MAGFest?
Oh boy. Who was the first person who did the Colossus Roar at MAGFest? So
that happened after my time. That was, I'll tell you how it started though. It was somewhere at the Mark Center, so MAG 6 or 7, and somebody had brought in an X-Men double wide, like 4-player cabinet or whatever, and everybody was all over that thing all weekend. And Lumberjacks, feel free to correct me on this one if I got something wrong. But somebody started doing the Colossus Roar, and that would have been MAG 6 or 7-ish.
Yeah, it was MAG 6.
7.
They're saying 7.
Okay.
So just to add on, so we had a panel yesterday, and to add on what some of them said then about it. So if you've never been to the Mark Center, the way that was laid out was like the game room was like the big ballroom. Now, the marketplace was right outside, and then there was also some arcade cabinets that kind of like lined the in-between space in the halls. And that was kind of like the focal area that you kind of went through to get to most anything there.
And you could not escape the sound of the roar.
Right.
It was always someone on the game.
So apparently the Colossus sound effect was a lot louder than the other special attacks. For those of you who have played the game, you know Colossus has the best special move because it hits the whole screen. And also a video game on free play means that all those super moves you can just keep spamming. So it kind of was a thing, and it started to die down a little bit, and then someone got Uematsu to do it when he was performing at MAGFest 10, and the rest was history.
There was like a big conga line of people doing at like 5 a.m. or something. Oh yeah. I feel like, I guess it would have been 7. I feel like, do y'all remember that big old conga line of the Colossus Roars? That's just right. Just everyone was just all doing it. It was just all of a sudden everyone's doing it, the whole place. Like what the?
Yep.
I remember when they tried to make a stop.
So that's. Oh.
Yeah, to add on to that, like the Colossus Roar was almost dead until 10 when the crowd got Nobuo Uematsu to do it, and then it was canonized.
Yeah, so you can blame Final Fantasy as a short version.
Yeah. So that's our answer, but just feel free to make up your own. Yeah.
Any other questions?
Yeah.
Oh.
At what point did you get big enough to start turning away badges?
At what point did we get big enough to start turning away badges? That was...
Sorry, turn away bans or...
Oh, bans.
Oh, that already happens.
Oh. That's a good question.
Don't we...
At what point in the past?
At what point did we start turning away bans?
Oh, what year?
Yeah.
You'd have to ask Paul or Dom that. I don't know.
Yeah.
Probably when they got here to the Mark Center. I mean, here to the Gaylord, though, would be my guess.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not involved in that area of staff at all, or even any staff at the moment, so, but it would be probably among the people who run, you know, guests and the band department.
Yeah, my best guess would be right around when we moved to the from the Mark Center to here.
Yeah.
You know, we got more space, but then it really exploded at that point. We were starting to turn people away.
I mean, just speaking personally, without knowing, I imagine there's also something to be said for not having a band there like every single year, you know, to mix it up a little bit too. I mean, that's kind of like how the Proto-Men, they're kind of here every 2 years, every 3 years.
Well, once we started coming here, we had reached sort of a critical mass where we were getting enough people coming in that we could afford to be a little bit more choosy and say, I mean, because like other conventions, like for example, like Dragon Con is something like 80,000 people. You know, they intentionally don't bring back the same people every year to try to spread the love and try to get some variety and things like that. You know, it's one of those sort of happy things happy problems to have, that you're that popular that you could start doing that. But I'm guessing it was probably within a year or two after coming to Gaylord. So, next, any questions? Any other questions?
Nope. Another one for you.
Okay.
Do you have planned attendance cap for Gaylord?
So I don't know the exact answer to that. My understanding is we do have an attendance cap for the Gaylord. I think it was only first instituted about 3 or 4 years ago. And if I remember correctly, it was like 2 years ago, it was 25,000, which we did hit, I believe, on Saturday. We've hit it a couple other times, a couple years before that, but they were a little bit smaller. I think we gradually sort of increased from like 18 to 20 to 22 over the years, because we actually, in a lot of cases, we're not taking over the entire Gaylord, because the Gaylord is still really big. And a lot of times we'll have overlap. I remember a couple years ago, it was like an astronomical convention that was also overlapping with us. But
that's right, yeah.
So technically the Gaylord can handle more than 25,000, but that's what we're capped at. Obviously this year, because of COVID and other things, we're not going to be able to hit that cap, but I'm hoping that, you know, next year we'll be back to normal and we'll be at that cap again. So
I will say that MAGFest 9 though had a cap, because at the Mark Center they, you know, it was growing well enough those 3 years, and then the 4th year that they had to limit it. So I can't remember the exact number. It was between 3,000 and 3,500. I remember that.
don't know the number, but I got a personal story. Yeah, I never pre-reg just because, you know, I'm lazy, or, you know, just, yeah, don't feel like it. And so, yeah, I showed up, can't buy a badge at MAGFest 9. So I just snuck in, yeah.
It's kind of an aside, but it's why we also, for a few years there, we started doing the MAGFest 8.5 or the labs, or we had a couple different permutations of it, because we were trying to do like a smaller, more sort of intimate venue that was more kind of harkening back to the original days of MAGFest, because we know that some people they see 25,000 people at a convention center and they're kind of, you know, a little bit leery of that. So we were trying to do something that was a little bit smaller, and also do that back at the Mark Center where we could cap it at, say, 2,000 to 3,000 people. So that's the reason why we did that for a few years. Unfortunately, it became financially not really feasible to do that anymore, so that's why we stopped doing it.
Okay, so let's go you first, and then you'll be next.
Not really a question, but same story. At 9, my whole crew we showed up, we had our hotel room reservation.
Yeah.
We couldn't get in. We were like, what is going on? Like, it had blown up. It was fascinating to see it go from MAGFest 8, you know, the quantity of people, to 9, where you guys hit the cap.
Yeah.
And the only way we could get in was we had to run around and find the super supporter, or whatever the badge was.
Mm-hmm.
Those people had an extra badge.
That's right,
yeah.
yep.
We found those people and we were like begging them to give us their badges, you know, their spares.
Yep.
We all got in because of that.
Yeah, it was.
After that year, we pre-reg day one, as soon as it opens, we pre-reg. Never again.
Yeah, 8 through 11, MAGFest really exploded in size. It really was a significant jump during those few years.
Okay, we have one over here.
So, on the subject of, I guess, capacity limits and, you know, hitting that cap, has there ever been any talks of potentially maybe moving the venue again, if we're getting too large or anything to that effect? And if that's the case, I guess where you guys
Yes, he was asking about, like, has there been any plans to move it to a different venue? I will say for the short version right now, the answer is no, because I believe we have a contract with the Gaylord through, I want to say it's either 2025 or 2027. So there was, not to get too much into the backroom stuff, but there was a sort of a decision kind of a few years ago of where MAGFest really wanted to go, in the sense of, do we want to have one huge big ass event every year like Dragon Con that's just really super huge, or did we want to do a fairly large event but have enough money that we could do other events? And so the decision was made to do it the way we're doing it now, at least in theory, to do a fairly large event and smaller events, because there was obviously a lot of risk in doing one single event. It was going to be a lot more money to go to some place like the DC Convention Center or the Baltimore Convention Center. I can talk on this for a little while, but for example, the reason why MAGFest does it this week is this is literally the cheapest weekend of the year to rent the Gaylord out. Like that.
You mean it's not because it's my birthday weekend?
Oh, Joe, what'd you have?
Yeah, so that's about the January thing. MAGFest was originally a September-October event, and starting with year 4, MAGFest moved to right around the new year, because any hotel on the planet, the week after New Year's is the cheapest week the whole year.
Yeah, because full disclosure, MAGFest is a 501c3 educational nonprofit, so we're not trying to, make some big profit off of this. Any profits that we make off of Super, which is the event now, we basically plow back into the rest of the year. So the more we make on Super, the more likely it is that we can do other events. That's why this event is so important. So there was a lot of, again, potentially logistical issues about putting our eggs in one basket to do only one event, and it allows us to do other events, at least before the pandemic, things like Mag Labs or 8.5. We did Mag West for a couple years, and then we were able to do Mag West virtual the last couple years. We did Mag Stock, which is sort of the camping trip, and then a few other events like BitGen Gamer Fest in Baltimore. And then we would also do a couple like Game Over events, which are sort of like music concerts that we'd sort of have, maybe not necessarily run ourselves, but sort of co-sponsor in different parts of the country. I think we did one in Raleigh, and we did one in Toronto.
Yeah, they had a few in Richmond, yeah.
Brazil.
So, but now, obviously, things are kind of thrown way out of whack right now because we didn't have an event in person last year. This event, as you guys obviously know, we're probably going to be somewhere around maybe 50% attendance, which is still good considering it's a pandemic, but obviously less money we make here makes it less likely for us to do other events. So it's a, it is what it is type of thing.
And one final note, the way it was explained to me is that if we were going to move to some other place, we'd have to go pretty far in order to still be able to game 24/7. Granted, we have to shut down at 4 a.m. for some reason this year, which I'm still upset about.
Short version on that answer is because of staffing. That's your answer for that.
Okay, I'll give them a pass.
I will just say we lost over 50% of our staff this year, so that was just the situation for that. But yes, we did also. That was another thing we did. Certain places, I think the DC Convention Center was one where they would not let us run 24 hours. They were a flat no on it. So for us at the time, and still is, that's a deal breaker. So.
Yeah, but the Gaylord is huge. It can handle a little bit more growth, I'd say.
Yeah. Any other questions? Sure.
So, the type of people you bring into the events and how long you run, how does your whole population go?
Sorry, say it again more.
Right. So, due to the people that come to MAGFest and what they do, how does your hotel relations go with them?
How old are our relations with the hotel?
Does the Gaylord still like us?
Yeah. So basically, Joe, the question was, does the hotel still like us at the Gaylord? The short answer is at least before this weekend, I will say yes. I don't know about this weekend, but as far as I know, we have a very good relationship with the Gaylord because the Gaylord knows that we're almost, at least before this year, we were guaranteed to bring in business. In other words, if we say we're going to bring in 25,000 people, we're going to get pretty close to that. So because it's more than just filling the hotel rooms, it's filling the hotel rooms, it's buying stuff at the marketplace or at the shops that are around, it's even doing business with the area, just bringing in revenue. And it's seen as a pretty, it's part of the reason that the hotel really likes us is because they know that it's a safe bet that we're going to bring in X amount of money to this event. So now this year, I don't know what the logistics of it are. I do know that we did sell out the Gaylord. We did still sell that out even with the lower attendance, but I don't know what the other sort of logistics or true ups or anything like that are. But as far as I know, we still, after this weekend, I think we still have a good relationship with the Gaylord, despite the occasional breaking of glass and, you know, people doing, I'll call it MAGFest things and leave it at that.
I mean, the thing you have to, that you have to realize, though, is that just because there's the picture of what video game players look like in people's heads, people go wild at lots of kinds of conventions. It isn't, you know, stuff happens whether it's like a military convention, other types of conventions. So, yeah.
Back to this question.
Okay.
What's like the worst thing that's ever happened? What's the worst?
We signed NDAs. I'm just kidding.
Yeah. I will say for the most part, I cannot say that for privacy reasons, but we have been kicked out of hotels before. We got, which ones? Was it the Mark Center was one?
I think it was Charlottesville. I think it was
Charlottesville, we got kicked out. That's right. 4, yeah.
And Williamsburg, both.
Yep.
Both.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, there was something about white powder.
And the one in Vienna, three times, and the one in Vienna.
Yeah, 4. Yeah, 3 and 4. Okay.
And 5.
And 5, yes.
Yeah, I think one of the bands at 4 rocked so hard that a chandelier fell from the ceiling.
At 2, there was something that fell out of the ceiling when Wave Theory was playing. It wasn't a chandelier. It was just like a piece, like one of the pots or something. Yeah.
Oh.
You know your concert is lit when the chandelier's falling. I'm just gonna say that.
Abravel's not here, is he?
I don't know.
I don't think so. No. Okay, we got a couple more questions. Anyone else on the right there?
Yeah, we also only have a few minutes though. So
Well, my thing about the event is that you're not corporate sponsored.
Correct.
Do you have any background stories of, like, say, a corporate sponsor approached you and turned them down?
I think Brendan turned down a lot of people.
Yeah, Brendan would have turned down a lot of people. Yeah.
I know that we have been approached. It is something, especially with the pandemic, that I think has at least been potentially broached, but obviously it's something that I know I can guarantee it's something that we would not want to do unless as a last resort, because simply put, because we are not beholden to corporate sponsors and things like that. This is a fan-run event. It's a nonprofit. We really, and I mean really, want to keep it that way. So, I mean, I would say we don't want that to change unless we have literally no other option. So. Somebody probably smarter than me, higher up in MAGFest, can explain a bit more on that, but that's the short version. So.
No turn down. Oh, that's a huge check.
Yeah, I don't know the details of what's been offered or things like that, but I can pretty much guarantee that we have been offered that kind of stuff, and we've said no so far. So. Yep.
All right, so at what point did you think you can start to do logistics and cost of inviting international guests? How long do you plan to do that?
That's a question I will admit I do not really know the answer to. Talking about international guests. Yeah. Oh,
what about
also for Joe? International guests, like inviting international guests. Like, did you do any international guests or?
It's funny too, because Sean Ryder at MAGFest 1 had the idea to invite Machinist Supremacy from Sweden. And I said, we don't have money for that. So we invited the mini bosses and they came. But Machinist Supremacy did show up eventually, along with a ton of guests from Japan, from MAG 9 up until 2 years ago.
Yeah. So it has happened. I'm not party to the discussion there. So.
Yeah, I mean, we've obviously brought some international guests over. We didn't do it this year because straight up budget reason. Everybody's budget got cut, and that's just how it was. But we generally, MAGFest has been more of a convention, especially more in recent years, where it's like we certainly have guests, but we don't want to go to the level of something like we don't want to bring in somebody like Danny DeVito. As much as we'd like to, we don't want to burn our entire guest budget just to bring in Danny DeVito. So,
Okay. Yep. And we're.
Okay.
Do you have any closing words you want to say, Joe?
Yeah. Any closing words, Joe?
Yeah. Thanks for managing to get me out to MAGFest this year. This was a lot of fun, and if anybody does have pictures of MAGFest 4 or 5, I could really use photos of those 2 years. Thanks for coming and sitting down and listening to me run my mouth. That was really cool. You guys, anything?
One thing, if they want to get in touch with you, if they have memorabilia or anything like that they want to share, how can they get in touch with you?
I mean, I've got a Gmail and I've got Facebook, and I've just got my Gmail and my Facebook, I guess.
Okay. So.
Not hard to find.
Fair enough. All right. I guess I'll just say, yeah. I mean, I've been going to MAGFest for almost 20 years now. I still really enjoy it. Obviously I've been staffing for a long time. I've been in panels for years now because I'm a masochist, or maybe I like it. I don't really know. It's probably Stockholm Syndrome at this point. But it's been a great experience. It is definitely a very different convention because I go to lots of different conventions each year, at least before the pandemic. And this one is very unique because I treat it as, it's kind of the gaming version of Dragon Con, as that if you're at all interested in video games or music, you are guaranteed to find something here you like. Whether it's panels, whether it's the arcade, whether it's Jam Clinic, whether it's Makerspace or Mages or any of our other departments, it's almost a guarantee that you're going to find something that you can really enjoy and think, wow, this was really a cool experience. And there's really no other convention I've been to outside of maybe Dragon Con that can say that. So.
Well, I also enjoy Dragon Con, so yes, I agree with that. For me, it's like I've met people at MAGFest, and this is like the one time a year I get to see them. Like, it's a reunion of sorts. So I definitely love that aspect about it. And, and video games and nerdery is all cool too.
Bye. Thanks for coming.
All righty. Well, thanks, everybody.